demographic shift which has happened, and Prem Singh stopped at millennials. And I want to say that we are already experiencing Gen Z, you know.
Yeah.
Millennials are now old hat, so to speak. Sorry if some of you are millennials. It's already old hat.
And your book also, which you wrote long back on millennials.
I mean, 10 years old book,
back,
you know, on millennials.
It must have changed by now.
Yeah, so we are relaunching another study, Vijay, on this now. So, expectations of, again, I mean, since you said speak from experience, I must say that I've been teaching for a few decades, and today I find that even if you look at a person with mild disapproval in the class, mild disapproval, you don't have to say anything. Even with mild disapproval, they shrink. They shrink, and for them to come back to normal is a challenge. Second, whatever little thing they do, they have to be appreciated, recognized, praised all the time, moment to moment, regardless of the quality of what they're saying. So these two things really bother me because it is somewhere reflecting on low resilience. Low resilience. And that is because the previous generations have brought up, that is our generations have brought up this generation, you know, mollycoddling them a bit too much. I don't blame families, I don't blame parents, because this is part of the evolution, you know, that economic progression and economic plenty results in the next generation getting a little more of it than they need, and these are some of the results. Which is why when, you know, I used to hear about, we did some work with Kumar Mangalam Birla, and at that time, there is a case that we have written, Pritam Singh and I, on him and the company, and came to know that in his younger days, mind you, he has been the scion of such a wealthy, you know, family for generations, right? He must be the 4th or 5th generation Birla. And yet, when he was growing up, he had to go up and down only on a bicycle. He had to be there for the family meals. He was given a pocket money per month within which he had to manage his expenses. So, if you look at it, you say, what's wrong with these people? But in hindsight, you realize, because of the way they have been groomed, that's how, you know, their personalities have developed in a different way. They've become tougher, more resilient, so on and so forth. So all I'm saying is, corporate India now will have the challenge of handling such kids. Okay? And that is where the issue is emerging, because what it means is, because now suddenly you will see that mental health issues are being flagged. Why? I believe it's connected to resilience and low resilience.
Students are struggling a lot.
Yeah,
yes,
very provocative. One
this
sec,
is very important.
One sec, please. Very provocative. And the reason why I say that is, first of all, the assumption is that everybody is doing that one-way teaching. That's not correct. Yes. There are many schools, many subjects where there is a proper teaching and learning environment. Okay? And for 20 years, I've been calling myself a facilitator, not a teacher. And the reason for that, of course, there's a reason. And he's partly right, but I'm also partly right. So my point is, whatever I've been teaching, it's been facilitation, because you're teaching in an experiential mode. Now, experiential mode, as Sabi is hinting that, it has to come in all domains. That has not happened, but there is a lot of progress. Okay? But again, the key point I wanted to make, which is why I was protesting, is when you get kids who have little or no work experience, to expect them to be contributing and be highly involved, I've seen is very tough. Even if you give them the space, they have nothing to say. So this is the challenge, Sabi. On behalf of Dr. Pritam Singh, there is a joke. Because I remember he would say, you know, decades ago in BHU when he was working or something, there was some curriculum review done. And there was one particular veteran professor to whom, you know, this person, head of the department, went and said that, you know, the curriculum has been revived, revamped, and, you know, now you have to teach this, this, this. So in his own style, the gentleman said, Bachwa, whatever you do, I will teach what I know.
I heard that. I heard that. Schools and corporates also, Asha ma'am, you train people. What 3-4 critical capabilities you think are required for the future to create the leadership pipeline?
Right. I heard someone make a very important point once, that leaders need to have the capability to not only steer the ship, but also repair it as you're going along.
Wonderful.
So that means there are two apparently opposite capabilities which the captain of the ship needs to have. So each of them take you in a different direction. One is in terms of the present, the other is in terms of the future.
Okay.
So
Great.
that's one.
One.
And second is, a leader today cannot afford to be just focused on within factors. Leader has to be for the entire ecosystem. You have to carry the entire ecosystem. By that I mean all the stakeholders. That is the second one, which I consider to be very important. And lastly, performance, which is present, and transform, which is preparing the organization continuously for the... Yeah, most important, you need to stay open-minded. The biggest problem I find, and sorry to talk about, the young generations, I find it very interesting. Nobody says that, I have heard this. Nobody says, I read this. No matter what you say, in my opinion, I'm not asking you your opinion. I'm asking you for something which is information-based, which is factual. So please, keep an open mind so that you are taking in what is happening around you. Because you are only as good as your capacity to understand your environment and your capacity to understand yourself.